Hey there, so one of the most searched terms online right now is make money online or even work from home. Perhaps you've been watching a ton of YouTube videos or Googling yourself trying to figure out exactly what path to take. And I don't blame you, it is overwhelming out there. There is so much information out there, and even I have put out a lot of helpful information to help you in making that decision and to also let you know what options you have. If you have a look below this video, you will see other videos that I've created on this very topic, giving you ideas. In fact, there was one video that was all about 60 work at home jobs that you can start today. Now, in today's video, I thought to myself, what if there was somebody out there who's thinking, what is the quickest thing to start, or rather the easiest thing to start? Because you could go drop shipping, you could create a course, you could start a coaching business, you could start a membership. All of those business ideas are great and they work very well, but are they easy? No. So, what is the easiest online business to start this year? Well, I'm going to be telling you in this video. Hey there, welcome back. It's your girl Pam Obasa from The Lucrative Lady. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, please go ahead and do so. And of course, turn on the bell, share this video so that a lot of people can get value. Now, what is the easiest business to start online this year? I have to admit, even though I don't do this business as much as I would like to, it's something I used to do when I first got started. Now I've moved on. But if you are just getting started and you want, a foothold in this online space in a way that will help you to become successful super fast, then the easiest by far business for you to start is a service-based business. So what is a service-based business? Well, a service-based business is a business that you provide a service for. So it's not a course that somebody has to do a lot of work for. A service-based business, your ideal clients are people who, are very busy, right? They're very busy, but they have the money. So they are time poor, but cash rich. So you're talking local businesses, people who run local businesses, they're spending a lot of time running their business that the last thing they want to do is to add more things on their plate. So a service, an entrepreneur who runs a service that these businesses can buy and invest in, can hire your services for, it's a win-win situation for both parties. Now, I actually used to do service-based businesses when I first got started. The very first service-based business I did was in auditing webinars for other entrepreneurs. Now, webinars, as you know, can be incredibly powerful for your business, but if they're not converting very well, then you're in big trouble. And oftentimes when you've created a webinar, it's really difficult for you to see, because you have created it, it's really difficult for you to see why it doesn't convert. So a lot of those people would come to somebody like myself to have a look through their webinar and tell them exactly where to fix things and how to make it to convert a little bit more than it was before. So I was running that service when I first got started and I absolutely loved it. I was working with people who, again, they were cash rich but time poor, so it was a win-win situation for everybody. And it was one of the ways that I got started and I highly recommend it. So in this video, not only do I want to tell you what a service-based business is, but I actually want to give you the steps for how to get started with a service-based business if you are just starting out. And even if you are, seasoned online, you might want to add this as one of your income streams that you will be, using in your business, using to generate even more money. So let's get into it. Now, let me talk about pricing first of all before I tell you the steps that you can take. In terms of pricing for a service-based business, to be honest with you, it is your business. It is literally, there is no ceiling, right? In fact, the only ceiling that exists is based off of your industry, right? So there are so many different service-based businesses that you can do. You can audit webinars, like I mentioned. You can write copy for people, so copywriting. You can also create websites for people. There are so many things, anything that you have to do for someone, right? So you're not coaching them through it, you are actually doing the work. So another way to think about a service-based business is to think of a done-for-you service. Anything of that nature is absolutely perfect. That is the perfect thing for you to do. And in terms of pricing, well, to be honest with you, depending on your industry, you could charge anything up to 3K. In fact, I've seen service-based businesses go for $15,000 in respect, for example, auditing webinars, as one of the examples that I've shared with you. I know people who do that for 15K, because when you think about your pricing, the best way to think about it is, if I provide this service for my clients, what do they stand to gain from it, right? What do they stand to gain? So what's in it for them? What value will it bring to their business? If it's going to bring a really, really high value to their business, then your price should be high. If the value is going to be high, but it's very short-lived, then your price might be lower. So for example, you might be saying, Pam, I have a lot of people who watch this channel who, they're not necessarily online, but perhaps they do hair or something, or perhaps they do nails or something. That's a service-based business, right? Well, you can't charge £5,000 for doing somebody's nails. Why? Because even though the value is high, it's very short-lived. In 2 weeks, they're going to need to get their nails done again. Do you see what I'm trying to say? But if you wrote copy for somebody, or if you created websites for someone, or if you audited their webinar, for example, the value is really high. Plus, the lifetime value of that service is incredibly high. Why? Because they can reuse that copy over and over and over again. That website that you created will serve them for years to come. That webinar that you audited that they're now converting, they will be doing a good, I don't know what your skills are, but 6 figures, even 7 figures from that. So therefore, when it comes to pricing, think, right? Is it of high value, the service that I'm wanting to provide? And also, what is the lifetime value to the client? Is it something that they need to replace every 2 weeks, every month, or every few months? Or is it something that will serve them for a long time to come? That will help you with your pricing. So with that being said, now that we've covered pricing, let's go into the exact steps. I want to take you through from A to Z what to do, of how to get started providing services for clients, and of course how to actually get paying clients. So if you are ready for it, let's get started. Okay, so if you are just getting started and you have no idea where to start, the first thing that I want you to do is to actually write down your money goal. Write down your money goal, and that is the quick question that I want you to answer. You can do that in the comments. Is how much money do I want this income stream to be bringing to me per month? Is it $1,000 a month, £1,000 per month? Is it 5,000? Is it 3,000? Is it 10,000? Only you know what that figure is, but write it down, because I tell you, when you make that decision, it will help you with everything else. So write down what your money goal is. That is number one. And another part of number one, in terms of the exercise that I want you to do in this section, is write down how much time you have available to deliver this. Now think about it this way. If you're running a service-based business, you need to spend time delivering the service, and you need to spend time acquiring the customer, right? So you need to factor that in. So for example, if you turn around and said, Pam, I only have 5 hours to spend on this, then that will help us to determine the exact type of service you should be offering. But if you have a little bit more time on your hands, if you have 20 hours on your hands per week, for example, now we're playing ball. Now we can go after, really, really big ticket service items. So number one is to write down your money goal, and also write down how much time you have to dedicate to this income stream per week. So write that down right now. Number two, once you have written that down, the next thing I want you to do is to brainstorm your ideas. Now, the quickest way to get started isn't to go learn something new. Yes, there are courses that you can take, but instead what I want you to do is to think, well, what skills do I already have? Right? What skills do I already have? What do people often ask me about? Or what do I do so effortlessly that, it takes a lot of people a lot of time to do? They can't get their head around this thing. But for me, it is so effortless. What is that thing? Right? What is it that you might be doing in your spare time? It could be a hobby. Perhaps, you do this thing and you've never thought about it as anything, but you now know that actually this could be turned into a valuable skill that will bring you another source of income. So brainstorm. I challenge you to put down a minimum of 10 ideas that you could run with in this section for you to be able to move forward. So number one was write down your money goal and how much time you have, and number two is to brainstorm your ideas. Number three, so you've brainstormed your ideas. I want you to now look at your list and then choose the top 3 that really jump out at you. Look at those top 3 and then choose the top 1 from those 3. So now you have one idea that you're going to run with. So step 3 after you've brainstormed is to validate the market. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means that you've got to go out and do some research and validate that there is a market for this, right? Perhaps your idea was, I'm going to do some dog training, right? I'm going to train other people's dogs. I'm not just going to create a course about this, but I'm actually going to provide this, as I said, as a service. So now I want you to go out into your good friend, Google, my good friend too, and I want you to type things in there, i.e. dog training as a service, dog training business, start a dog training business. So type that into Google. Another place you can do a lot of research in is in Facebook groups. So go into Facebook and just type in dog training as your keyword, right? And then go in there and search and, put some keywords in the search feature so that you can see what questions people are coming up with in this space. I tell you what that is. The reason why you are using this to validate your market is that if you notice that there's a trend of communities around this one topic, it tells you that there's a big market for this. So if you type in dog training and you see lots of Facebook groups coming out, voila, you have a lucrative market right there. If you type in dog training into YouTube and there are a ton of videos on this topic, that's another way to validate your idea. Now, why is it important to validate your idea? Well, this is one of the biggest problems that I see when people come to work with me. They have an idea and they think I'm going to go from idea to making money. Well, that's not how it works. There's a big gap between my hands for a reason. It means that there are steps to be taken, from idea to being lucrative. There are so many things, and validating the market is one thing. There's validating the market, there's validating the idea. There's so many things that you have to validate during this section. So take 5 minutes and just go out there, validate your idea, and then once you've ticked that box, you can move on to the next step. So then, once you have validated your idea, step 4 is to create your packages and your products. Right? Because if you're going to offer a service, you've got to have some package, you've got to have some pricing, but a package is beyond your pricing. A package, actually includes your messaging, i.e. what are you going to be doing? What is the big problem that you're going to be solving for your clients? What is the big solution that you're going to be offering? And what is the benefit for them, right? If you're unsure what I'm talking about in this section, then look above me and below this video. I actually have a training all about how to craft the perfect messaging that will help you to generate sales. So once you have that nailed, it's really important to take that messaging to start creating your packaging. Now, in order to create your packages in terms of, what are you going to be charging and what are you going to be providing, I highly recommend that you find other people in your space. Now, a lot of people call these competitors. I don't like the word competitors because I don't believe that there is, competition in that way, even though there is. I prefer to think of this as just, friends, other friends who happen to be operating in the same space as me, right? When you think about it that way, you are switching your mindset into looking at these other businesses, as they're not people who are against you or who are coming for your clients. They're just other people who coexist in the same space as you. So go out there and find those friends. Find about 3 of those friends, those other competitors if you prefer, right? And have a look at what are their packages, right? So what are their pricing? What words are they using to describe their services? What is it exactly that they are offering to their clients, and how are they delivering it? I want you to pretty much look into every nook and cranny through their website, through everything. If there are links to click those links. If there are freebies to grab those freebies. If there are webinars to watch those webinars. I want you to find out everything that they are doing, and once you have this information, look at least 3 other people who are offering a similar type of service. Once you have that, now the next thing I want you to look at when it comes to creating your packages is to think, well, what is it about? What do they all have in common? That's a great place to start. Is it their pricing model perhaps that they have in common? Is it the benefit structure that they have in common? Is it the actual service, the way they deliver the service that they have in common? Whatever it is that they have in common, do not reinvent the wheel. All you then have to do to create your own packages to think, well, how can I deliver a similar type of service but a little bit better? That's all you need to do to stay a couple of steps ahead. Now, once you have created your packages, unfortunately, it's not enough for you to go out there and get paying clients. Well, depending on your skills, if you already have, marketing skills and sales skills, then perhaps you might be able to. However, once you have created them, the the one thing that will help you to get clients is actually to move to step 5, and that is to get testimonials. So get testimonials. Now, how do you get testimonials and why do you need them? Well, you need testimonials because it will help you to get more clients. It will build credibility and social proof, which people need in order to be able to invest with you. Now, in order to get them, what I highly recommend is that you go out there and you find 3 people who need those services. These people are going to be your first set of clients, and you're going to either offer them your services for free or for very little amount, depending on your industry. When I first started doing webinar audits, I did it at $500. Now, this is a service that I now charge $15K for. That is the investment for it right now. But when I started, it was only $500. Why? Because I needed my first set of clients so that I can grow in confidence, so that I can get better, and so that I can get testimonials. And I tell you something, I did such an awesome job for those clients. They got such incredible results that later on down the line, they were singing my praises, bringing me referrals, and of course, I had great testimonials to use. So go out there and give your services away for either free or for very little amount. Now, don't do that indefinitely, okay? This isn't one of those situations where you keep doing your work for free. I don't, that's not something that I recommend at all. What I want you to do instead is to do that for only 3 people, okay? 3 clients, that's all you need to get great testimonials for, and you are good to go. Once you have your testimonials, step 6 is to get visible. So get visible. Now, how do you get visible? Well, get visible online. Now, depending on what type of businesses you want to work with, I want you to figure out, where do they hang out online? Do they hang out on LinkedIn? Do they hang out on Instagram? Do they hang out on Facebook? Do they hang out in Facebook groups? Are they watching YouTube videos? Wherever it is that they hang out, you also want to hang out, but not only hang out, but get visible there. So how do you get visible and get seen? Well, you create posts for that specific platform. You go live on that specific platform. Most importantly, you record videos for that specific platform where they hang out. If you find that a lot of your clients are in Facebook groups, go into those groups, answer some questions, share your expertise, share videos if you're allowed. And if you find that you're in communities where you're not really allowed to share things, then go on ahead and create your own community, create your own Facebook group, and that gives you access to your clients. So getting visible is absolutely important, and that leads us to number 7, which is our final step in this series, and that is to get paying clients. Now, how do you do that? I highly recommend that you create, some sort of one-page website. A landing page is actually what I prefer. Create a landing page and create some sort of lead magnet. What is a lead magnet? A lead magnet is something that you give away for free in exchange for somebody's name and email, right? It gives you access to be able to email them, contact them, give them even more value, and of course, sell your services in the future. But if you don't have your own email list, your own database of clients, then it becomes very, very difficult to get clients. You're constantly in that hamster wheel looking for clients all the time. And if we go back to step 6, where I talked about being visible and figuring out what platform your ideal clients are on, well, even though that's really great advice, you've got to really take on step 7 with it by building your own email list. And that is because you don't own any of those platforms. So you don't own LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, or wherever your clients hang out. And because you don't own them, there is a danger when you build a business on them that one day you could get kicked off the platform and lose all of the credibility that you have built on that platform. I promise you it's happened to thousands and thousands and thousands of people, including myself. So this is why it is absolutely crucial that in step 7, as you are getting your clients, the method that you use is to use a lead magnet. Use a simple system that allows you to build a database of your ideal clients, so that you can, even if they don't work with you today, they can work with you in the future, and you know exactly where to find them. So I hope you loved it, and if you did, show me that you did by subscribing to this channel, turning on that bell, and of course sharing this video. But I do want you to do one more thing for me. I want to have a conversation with you. Let me know in the comments exactly what you think about this strategy. And in fact, I shared 7 ways to get started. Which of these did you find the most intriguing, or which of them did you find the most difficult to do? Perhaps it's getting visible that you think is the most difficult, or perhaps it's getting clients that you think is the most difficult, or perhaps it's actually putting together your package that you might find the most difficult to do. Whatever the case may be, let me know in the comments so that I can respond and support you as much as I can. And of course, this video was brought to you by the Lucrative Business Academy, my own private community and membership. There will be some links below for you to check it out, and if you want some more support on getting started, make sure you click that link and join us in there. And I will see you in the next video. Take care. See you then. Bye.